As I look back on my life, the enemy has tried to take me out since birth. From early as 3 years of age, I can clearly remember the destruction the enemy had within my family. From witnessing domestic violence and being abused at a very young age in every way you can think of. I saw alcohol and drugs cause so much destruction. My father was so aggressive and abusive that when he went to prison, my mum and siblings had to run away. Throughout my teenage and adult years, this progressed into drug dependency and addictive behaviours. I developed an addiction for methamphetamine, which lasted for 6 years, cocaine and opioids. In search to fill that void of emotional suffering, pain and abuse, I found a so-called fake family of friends who introduced me to money, drugs and women. Approximately 8 months ago, I was at my absolute lowest in life. I was incarcerated, sitting in my jail cell, completely alone, confused, in an ocean of guilt, fear and shame. I felt as though that there was no way out. This was an incredibly tough time for me. I remember this particular moment as clear as day. It was a Tuesday night and I was at my absolute lowest. It was roughly 8:30 p.m. I was sitting on the edge of my bed and I remember this moment as clear as day. I remember asking God, if you are real, show yourself to me. I immediately felt a tingling sensation throughout my entire body and a lightness I've never felt before. It was as if a huge weight I had been carrying for many years had just gone, completely vanished. Reflecting back on this particular moment, I now acknowledge and realize that this was the love, the grace, and the power of the Father. This was the life-saving encounter I had been longing for my entire life. Upon release from prison, I reached out to an old friend, Wesley Stubbings, who met with me, introduced me to Jesus, and led me to Life Church. As soon as I walked into the place, I immediately felt like I was at home. I felt such a sense of acceptance, belonging, and a love of God. 8 months later, and here we are. Who would have thought I would be sitting here recording my testimony right now? I'd like to take a moment to extend my appreciation to my pastors, my church community, but ultimately God. If it weren't for Him, I'd still either be in jail or dead. For that, I'm forever grateful.